aja. Cuma aku nggak tahu kenapa ini apakah di hasil ini juga akan biru begini.
Tapi nanti kalau apa namanya diedit kan bisa
Bisa kamu cocokin aja yang ini sama yang ini, tinggal lempeng gitu.
Sama yang dulu kan enggak ini ya.
Iya, cuma kan ini nggak diedit.
Oh iya sih.
Sebenarnya bisa diedit kayak balance di situnya.
Buat sendiri aja buat belajar.
Oke.
So we'll start now. We'll still talk about the employment ordinance. So today we'll first talk about termination of the contract. So do you guys know how long would the notice period be? If you want 1 month, right? So do you know how long the notice period would be under the employment ordinance?
Yes.
Under the employment ordinance, how long would the notice period be? No, it's 7 days. But then, yeah, under the employment ordinance, it is 7 days. However, employment ordinance only offers you minimum protection. So it is subject to your contract and mutual agreement between you and your employer. So in the contract, as you said, it's 1 month, right? So your notice period would be 1 month. Of course, it can be shortened or lengthened, subject to the mutual agreement between you and your employer. Okay. So do you guys remember? I've talked about it before. Do you have to give reason in the notice? No, right? Exactly. So.
But we usually do that. Agency also asks.
But it's not a must, remember. So do you guys remember what do you have to state in the notice?
The date.
Date of.
Date of end of period. And 1 month period.
Yeah, the notice date of the notice,
Yeah.
date of your last working
Last-
day.
yeah,
It's not the same date, remember?
Yeah.
And then what else?
Contract number.
Yeah.
Your name.
Yes, name of you and your
And your
employer. Yes, exactly. So remember to also keep proof of the notice by, say, sending a WhatsApp to your employer, like send the notice through WhatsApp to your employer and give the notice to your employer physically. So you have proof, right? So your employer does not have to agree with the termination. You can just give him or her. And him or her does not have to sign it. So also same for the employer. If they serve you a notice, and you don't agree with the reason, if there is any reason stated, you don't sign, remember. Okay. So we've talked about this. Can someone tell me whether this is a notice?
Termination and contract.
Is it a notice to the employer?
No.
No, right.
It's to the immigration.
Yes, to notify the immigration that, oh, you are now terminating the
Yes,
contract. And this is not a notice.
Right.
Mm.
It is the form.
Yes, right, exactly. Okay, let's talk about probation period. You guys don't have probation period, which means even though you have worked for a very short period, not for 3 months, probation period usually for us, it means 3 months, but you guys don't have probation period.
That's
So-
why employers can terminate a worker even that's for 1 week.
Yes, but they have to give so-called 1 month notice still. Yeah, and then you guys are entitled to this right as well, even though you don't have a probation period. So you still get your food allowance, your free passage, and rest day, etc.
Wala si madam.
Do you want to move further to the front now? Because just now we moved the chair to the open.
It's okay.
Because the screen is not big.
We got a small screen today. Okay, so what should you do if you don't give 1 month notice but you want to terminate immediately?
I need to pay my employer one amount of 1 month salary.
Yes, right.
The worker will pay the 1 month.
Yes, exactly. So what happens if I serve notice on the 1st of January, but my last working day would be the 15th of January? So what should I do if I want to terminate? What happened
You
between?
pay the remaining days.
Right, the salary. The 15th to the 31st of January, you have to pay this at the salary of this period.
Yeah.
Yeah. So very good, you guys know.
The remaining days.
Yes,
to complete the whole 1 month.
Yeah.
That is half.
Yes. Right. Exactly. This is the calculation. I'll leave it to you guys since you guys already know how to calculate it. Okay. So we will talk about summary dismissal. Can you guys tell me what is summary dismissal? Do you guys remember?
Yeah.
Serious
If
misconduct.
you have an unpleasant attitude.
Yeah, but then it is related to termination, right? Summary dismissal means you guys committed, as you said, serious misconduct. This is one of the examples. Then your employer can terminate you without or with notice.
Without notice.
Yes, right, without notice.
Right away.
Yeah, exactly. So this the situation, and I'll talk about it one by one. But then the employer actually bears the burden of proving this actually happens. The burden is not on you. It's the employer who will prove that, oh, you actually committed this, and so I can summarily dismiss you.
Because some employers do, they accuse you of doing something that we don't.
Yeah, that's why if the case goes to the court, they have to prove that. And it is on the balance of probability, meaning on a scale to 1 to 100, they have to prove 51% that, oh, you actually committed this. And then if the employer is able to prove that, then the burden is shifted to you to prove that you didn't do that. Okay. Even though 1 month notice was already given by either party, for example, your employer has given you 1 month notice, during that period, if you are found to have committed these conduct, your employer can still summarily dismiss you. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. So I'll talk about the situation one by one. So let's talk about willful disobey of a lawful and reasonable order. So if I told you to, if the contract actually states that you have to live in A address, but then I told you to work in B address, can you disobey that?
Yes.
Yes. So will you be summarily dismissed by your employer?
No.
No, right? Because this is not lawful, right? So you can refuse to follow that
But
order.
what if they do?
And
They say, what if they insist and they will terminate you because of that?
Then that's their wrong. You can actually claim compensation from that because it's unlawful, right? And they have breached the contract, and it is misrepresentation as well. Remember?
Have proof.
Yes, exactly. And then the other situation would be misconduct. As you said, serious misconduct. It's not just a mistake. So, for example, child abuse, it would be a serious misconduct. It's not just, for example, when I was doing the dishwashing, I break the dish. That's not a serious misconduct, right?
As they call it, blackface.
Okay. So, another situation would be dishonesty. Guilty of dishonesty. It does not have to be directly related to the employer. What does it mean? It means that it does not mean you have to steal from your employer directly. You can, for example, steal in the supermarket. That's also dishonesty. Then your employer can actually summarily dismiss you as well. And another situation would be habitual neglectful. This is different from serious misconduct. It does not have to be a serious misconduct, but it is a conduct whereby you repeatedly committed that.
I forgot.
Yeah, yeah. And you are late every day for work, for example. And warning letters can be a proof that, oh, you actually are habitually neglectful. Though it is not a must. But it can serve as a proof. So, constructive dismissal, what does it mean? tell me. You guys tell me. I talked about it before.
Yeah,
By worker.
we did.
You guys no need to give notice to terminate the contract, right? This is called constructive dismissal. Different from summary dismissal, because constructive dismissal is you guys terminating the contract. Summary dismissal is the employer terminating the contract, so don't mix it up. So, in this situation,
What's coming by all?
Yeah. It's by, contract is by worker.
Yeah. Yes.
Summary is by
the employer, yes, this means constructive dismissal means the employer committing the wrong. Yeah, and you guys can terminate the contract without notice. So, in this case, you guys bear the burden of proof, which means you have to prove that, oh, your employer actually committed this conduct. So, which justify you to terminate the contract. And then, if you successfully prove that, on the balance of probability, same as summary dismissal, then the burden actually shifted to the employer to prove that they don't committed that.